All right, and with us right now, we've got Laurie Lyons. Laurie, you are the CEO and creative director at Ignite Marketing, and that's on the web at ignitingyourbusiness.com. And you're also the founder of makeyourmarketingsimple.com. Thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, it's great to be here, Josh. Thank you for having me.
So tell me about your work with ignitingyourbusiness.com, with Ignite Marketing. You founded this company, and this was back in 2014, is that right?
Correct. And it kind of started accidentally. I worked for a company and then got laid off, and because I wasn't technical enough. So I thought, I'll show him. And a friend asked me if I wanted to, I was talking about it, and they said, well, we need a new website. And I'm like, well, I've never built one. And he said, if you're patient, I would be happy to. And of course, my mantra is if it's on YouTube, you can become an expert in it.
That's right.
So between that and WordPress for Dummies, I built him a website. And the amazing thing was he paid me for it. And so then another friend asked me, and then another friend, and that's how it goes. And all of a sudden, a business coach said, what are you doing? Why aren't you doing this for a living? And it exploded from there. So I've been very fortunate.
Yeah. So this, I think, and this is something we're going to talk about, and you have a term for it. Was it not, what was the term when folks that maybe have had a career already, and they're making a transition into something new, or maybe they're even retired?
Encore entrepreneurs.
Encore entrepreneurs.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about that and what you see generally about people that are starting businesses. And listen, they're not in their young 20s.
No, they are not. Yes, I've as I've been going to events and I've been looking around and talking to people, and even what I see on LinkedIn and in the different social medias, people aren't in their 20s and 30s. They've maybe had a career and they've retired, and I said this earlier, either they don't like knitting or they don't like golf. So, or they want to get away from their spouse, whatever the case may be. But maybe they've had a dream and said, when I have time, I'd like to do this. Or I've always been good at this, I want to explore this. Or in a lot of cases with people that are around my age, they hit the recession in the late 80s. So their retirement got a hit, then they hit the housing bubble. And then, so different things have happened over the years, and maybe their retirement isn't where they want it to be. So they want to start another business based on their experience. And there's a huge market out there of, these later baby boomers, early Gen X's that are in that market, and they've never had to market. So they don't understand, other than, looking at grandkids' pictures on Facebook, they've never used social media for marketing, and they don't get it. So that's kind of where this came in. It's like, there's a huge opportunity and a huge market out there for somebody who can explain to them how to get their business online.
So I'm going to ask a silly question, and that is that, in terms of part-time businesses, is it just like, well, I guess I can go in the shop and do some woodworking and sell my woodworking and just put it out in the front lawn, and that's how I'll make my money? Or are there more effective ways to get your product in front of your ideal clients, your ideal customers?
There's a lot of more effective ways. And in fact, when I first started researching this, and I Googled business opportunities for baby boomers, they talked about dog sitting, and they talked about, doing that wood carving and putting them on the front porch, or selling some of the products that are available. But I'm like, if I were retired and I'm 60 something, there's better out there. I want to use my experience, and I want to use what I've learned over the years, and I want to make this a business, whether I'm a consultant. There's a lot of coaches. So they're in that service type of industry, not necessarily the product industry. And it's a great place to be, because you've got a retirement. In a lot of cases, you've got a pension or a retirement fund to help support you while you're growing this, but you want to do more, or you want to see that retirement fund get bigger.
So Laurie, talk about what you do specifically with Ignite Marketing. And so obviously talked about, so you learned how to build your own website. And let's stop right there.
Yeah.
All right. How hard is it today? Now, I'm asking this question as someone who's actually been a web developer since the 90s, the mid 90s, in fact. So this is the early days of HTML and web design. But how difficult is it today to get a website up for yourself?
There's two schools of thought on that. If you go to the what I affectionately term as the rent-a-sites, if you go to the Wixes or the Squarespaces, you can be online in a matter of a couple of hours because they've made it so easy for someone to go on and put their presence up. The challenging part is making sure that they're messaging correctly, because a couple of years ago, even the purpose of a website was to talk about you and talk about your business and tell how many years you've been in business and how many locations you have and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Today, the message is about how are you serving your customer and what can you do for your client and what are the problems and the solutions that you provide for them. So it's no longer about you and your business. There's a certain extent to that, but for the most part is we talk solely about how we can help you as a client.
So in terms of your own program, and so you've got a program, it's called MakeYourMarketingSimple.com. Here's my experience, Laurie, and I'd love your experience on this. And I love that you're doing this work. And we already kind of talked about this a little bit. My perception is that the number one reason that businesses don't really become profitable is because and this is kind of Michael Gerber, old school E-Myth, and forgive me to my regular listeners, they're like, oh, here he goes again. but I
can't
see
say it enough.
People have a passion. And so they start doing what they do. And then it's like, well, wait a minute, where is everybody? How come nobody's buying? Oh my goodness. And do they just stay kind of stuck and frustrated that their schedule's not filled up? They're not able to sell the products that they were hoping to do. How much time do you think someone should take in terms of, and I know this can vary, but I want someone who's going into this to be very thoughtful and realistic about what it takes to start a nice little lifestyle business for yourself. How much time or what percentage of your time do you think on average someone should be spending letting people know about their products and services and how they can help versus actually doing the product or the service?
Right. And I'm going to speak mainly to services because products can vary so much depending on what the product is. And I'm going to go back for just a second to something that you said where you talk about passion making a business. You can be passionate about what you do, but if you don't have sound business principles and marketing behind it, passion isn't going to last you very long. Yeah. So to that end, to start, I think at the very beginning when you're first starting out, I would say conservatively 60 to 70% of your time should be marketing your business, because marketing is letting people know you exist. And it's not selling, it's not advertising, it's specifically letting people know you exist. So if you spend a lot of time on your social media or your networking, and for beginning business owners, I said eyeball to eyeball is the best way to do it and the quickest way to do it. Go find networking places where your client is, and first, backing up even further, identify exactly who your target market is, exactly who your target client is, identify the solutions and the problems that you solve for them, then go find those people. If they hang out at Rotary Club, go to Rotary, because that's where a lot of your people are going to be if you're at that age. Then you start with the social media, because what's hard about social media is free, but it's not free, because it takes an investment of time, and then if you're going to do advertising, it takes an investment of money. So going eyeball to eyeball is the quickest and easiest way to do it, and then you start developing your marketing strategy behind that. And you know what, it doesn't take any technology know how to talk to somebody.
If someone is just getting started, should they spend their social media time setting up all these profiles and trying to maintain a LinkedIn and a Pinterest and Instagram and a Snapchat and a Facebook? You can tell by the way I'm asking this question, and you're shaking your head. No.
No, it's you first, it all goes back to where your target market is. If your target market is, if you're a woman selling makeup, go to YouTube, because 80-something% of women Google YouTube. Google makeup tips on YouTube.
Yeah.
If if your target market is you're going to, sell a new gadget to the teenage boy that is a gamer, go to YouTube, because that's where they are. But if you have a product to sell and, it fits in the Pinterest profile, that's where you go. Facebook isn't necessarily for everybody. If you're business to business, LinkedIn every day, because that's where they are. So
No kidding.
You go where your market is.
So when you say go there, like, what are you doing on social media? So, I have a lot of ideas on this. So I'd love your perspective on what is good activity on your social media platform of choice.
Let's go to LinkedIn, because that seems to be making a comeback. It's been around forever, and I think LinkedIn kind of ebbs and flows depending. But LinkedIn has always, to me, been the premier for business to business. So if I'm going to go to LinkedIn, I'm going to, number one, make sure my profile is set up to attract people. Make sure that I have a good, consistent message on my headers across all my social media platforms, wherever I may be. But I want to make sure that I have keywords that are targeted to people, that the clients that I'm looking for. So first of all, I'm going to optimize my profile before I do anything else. Secondly, I'm going to take advantage of all of those pictures of people you should know and make connections, because you forget that the connections are the important part of it.
Yeah.
And so first thing I do on LinkedIn is I go search and see who's on, who I haven't connected with that I should. Mm-hmm. Then now you can start reaching out to them through the messenger and, start reaching out organically to the people that you want to connect with, that you have a common interest. Then I would go to businesses, and finally I would start writing and posting my, comment and engaging just like any other social media on the posts that are there, and posting my own things on there.
Am I going to be reaching out and selling, or would you recommend maybe a different tack with people?
I would establish the relationship first. I hate nothing more than to be sold in the second sentence. Hi, I think we should connect. Let me tell you what I do. So, unconnect. Yeah. So no, I firmly believe it's all built in relationships. It's the next best thing to eyeball.
Okay, so again, I guess you've got your social media. So I'm a big fan of that as well. Pick one, maybe two, probably one social media platform, and just live there. I mean, that's where you do your thing. Another thing, and I think that you can even do, say for example, so my wife is a family therapist. I said, listen, if you're just a small independent family therapist, one of the best things you could do is just join a bunch of Facebook groups and just help people and provide free advice, and just the way you answer questions are similar to, hey, family therapist checking in here. Let me tell you what I normally tell my clients, and then go into and just give them lots of help, and then no call to action. Do not sell, so here's what's going to happen. If you were to answer 5 to 10 questions a day on all the various groups, and by the way, I'm not talking about the family therapy Facebook groups. Right. I'm talking about, neighborhood, Facebook group or something like that. And you want to just keep your eyes open for subjects that you can provide some expertise on. And what'll happen is people say, well, that was an insightful answer. They'll be thinking to themselves, and then they hover over your name. And then if your personal profile, even your personal Facebook profile just explains a little bit about what you do. It's optimized so that people can kind of follow the rabbit trail, as it were. And they can say, oh my gosh, this person does know a lot about dog walking, or this person does know a lot about, house cleaning or whatever it is. Just don't be afraid to, most people, Facebook is a very personal a social media platform. But if you want to, if your audience is there, it's a kind of a consumer audience, or even B2B audience, and you want to, you're welcome, you're open to doing this method of kind of like, and again, this is really, really early stage free pro bono marketing. I think anyone could do. This will work. This will get you your first group of customers very, very easily. And again, answer 5 or more questions every single day. Don't sell. Make sure your personal profile is optimized, and you're going to start getting leads. Guaranteed.
Yes. The default for everything that you do, whether it be email funnels, social media, whatever you do on your website, should always be to add value. Give value to your audience, and then they will find what they need on with you. And the other thing that I would do too is podcasts. Podcasts are my new jam. I love podcasts and being a guest on a podcast, and find where your audience is. And especially some of the smaller podcasts, they always are looking for guests, and it's a good way. It takes a little longer, but when you speak on a podcast, that's your audience that is listening to that. Wow. So it is a great place to do if you're comfortable with that.
Yeah. To someone who is in a job and they're unhappy right now, and they know it's like, listen, I've always wanted to do X.
Yes.
What is a great way that they can, obviously they're not going to quit their job tomorrow. Right. But talk about starting a business in your very part-time while you're already working a full-time job.
Sure. And that's a good place to be, because you're planning ahead. And I would add that the grass is greener on this side, having been in corporate a long time ago. But I would start, first of all, taking your idea and just doing the market research on what is out there for that idea. When I started talking to and gearing my marketing toward Encore entrepreneurs, I started doing a lot of research on where they are, which I kind of knew because that's me, but also I looked to see who else was talking to them, what were my quote unquote competitors, which I don't believe in competitors.
Right. I agree. I really.
If you're giving value, people are going to flock to you, but look and see what else is out there. Look at the language that other people are using, and look at where you can fit your niche and how you can bring your unique brand of expertise to the topic that you're talking about. And, start spreading the word. It's never, I don't think, unless there's a corporate reason for you not to, that it's never too early. Even if you spend 30 minutes a week, an hour a week, you're going to be that much farther ahead when you're ready to get started. Start building your social network. Start putting laying the groundwork for it, the foundation.
Yeah, I love it. Well, Laurie Lyons, you're the founder of and CEO of Igniting Your Business, Ignite Marketing, which is on the web at ignitingyourbusiness.com, and then makeyourmarketingsimple.com. Can you just real quick in like 30 seconds explain what makeyourmarketingsimple.com is?
Sure, I'd love to. I found a need for businesses that, they'll say, I hate technology, but it's not the technology they hate, it's the strategy they don't understand. So this starts small business owners through the very beginning. We go back to the basics. We identify the target market. So we help you identify your clients, find your clients, nurture your clients, and keep your clients for the long run, all through marketing and through the different various mediums that you market your business today.
Yeah.
And we do it in a simple way that makes sense. So we're not overwhelming you and confusing you.
Well, Laurie, thank you so much for joining us again. A great place to start is makeyourmarketingsimple.com. You have a simple program that people, and so you said it was 90 days, right?
Right. It's a 3-month program. Yes.
That's wonderful. And you can learn all the basics. And I suppose that if someone is afraid of technology, you're going to hold their hand and say, you know what? I know how you feel. I felt the same way. Here's what I learned. And guess what? It is absolutely possible for you to learn the basics. And you can absolutely, again, more than just hoping to catch people driving by the house. There's a lot of other really, really great platforms where you can get way more eyeballs, people that are looking specifically for the products and services that you offer.
Correct. Yes.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Well, Laurie Lyons, thank you so much for joining us.
Josh, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for having me.